Team, how are we going? Better than me, probably at the moment. Let's see who's going to be on first. Stop crying, Kaz. Just start streaming. That's what it's supposed to be about. Fugly. Lauren, great to have you back, mate. I would have smashed my phone if I picked it up again, love. So sorry if I didn't get through to you. Dave D, the accidental amputee right there, HSTL. G'day, buddy. ET, good to have some critters from outer space here as well. Neville Bloody Bartos. Who's going to harm her? Josh will. Well, that's his name. Stoddy, I need a medic at the moment, brother. JC, you'll be straight behind the medic, putting me in the back of the wagon. Lauren, hi, everyone again. Great. Sean Davey, Kane, great to have you here, Kane. Got it at the school. Won't get it again, but unless it comes from a lass dressed in black, I guess. Kaz and team bands of Australian Army, good to have you here. And so's New Business and Xena. Sugma, there you go, mate. Team, just to let you know what's happened today. Well, basically, we were rudely interrupted by the microphone going insane on the last stream. Let's open this one properly, shall we? Let's start our tradition here. Light on the fizz so you can slam it down fast. That'd be solo. But this is Coca-Cola. Not just a drink, a way to live. 6-3 Yankee, how you going, buddy? XO Challenger. Guys, I had a hard day. You know, I spent the day when I wasn't looking after little one during school holidays getting this stream ready to give you guys exactly what you deserve in return. You know, you pay me in your time. You could be watching The Project. You could be watching any number of the left-leaning shows we have on TV, which is replacing or being replaced by social media, because there tends to be an element of truth with it. The media have a kibosh on the truth. The reason is because if it bleeds, it reads, and that they get the views. They also don't get in trouble for telling a lie. All they've got to do is then, with their journalistic red card, so to speak, get out of jail free card, is do a retraction. They're right. Not so much with YouTubers, with social media, etc. When you jump on there, you can actually get held accountable. You can get in the shit for what you do and for what you say. And do not mix Australia for the USA when it comes to freedom of speech, because Australia doesn't have it. Did you know that? We don't have it. We are led by the gun. If you don't think so, you know, don't do what you're told and see how long it takes JC to turn up, and he'll be strapping. Yeah, he will. But, team, we are still happy. You know, I was just pissed that everything we'd done today. Aaron Croft, I see you there, brother of Lara. What annoyed me was I'd made the effort today and I'd paid the money to get the stream set up, which is not what you're seeing now. This is the inbuilt, it is our Logitech camera, but it's just not the standard. I want you to have the music. I want you to have the screens. I want you to have all this, but YouTube is in its internal function at the moment that's changing up and preventing us from giving you the best quality, the photos, the imagery, the screen stream deck experience that makes your viewing pleasure so much better. We'll change this up for 2 seconds. Oh, we can't. We can't even go to serious mode. Guys and gals, there's a few issues that we're covering off on today. SL Imports, g'day, mate. Happy New Year to you and your family. Finally able to watch one of your streams. Also, I'm off to the good old Kapuka on the 30th of March and going in as infantry 343. I will have a conversation with you on the phone before then to give you all the run-up advice that you need so you don't crash into the Hudson and that you give yourself the best chance of success. In between now and then, what I'd like you to do is adopt the platform position and hold that for the next few weeks to strengthen that back, abs, and mind. Jay, welcome back, Kaz. Guys, I almost wasn't going to tonight. That really deflated my colostomy bag when I had the screen just full of media going on no comments coming in. Red Knight was the last one I saw. And then I started seeing bang, bang, thumbs down starting to appear on the screen. That's because of my behavior. I get that. But I've never claimed to be perfect, except in the bedroom, and I don't mean cleaning it. PK, Kaz, the problem with Australia is that it gets its news from CNN, yes, MSNBC, yes, similar, who are left-wing trash. If you can get access to Fox News, yes, so you can watch Sean Hannity and Dan Bongino and Tucker Carlson, of course, and Judge Pirro. I agree. And if they said something wrong, they will get pulled over the coals. That's what. And I even love the Five now. Yeah, Jesse Waters, fantastic. Team, I saw something last night that really sort of chapped my ass a little bit, and it sort of scared me. Everyone that is, and I like to think that everyone's putting their hand on their heart and doing it for the right reasons, for the fire victims in Australia, etc. But we're seeing celebrities at the Golden Globes, okay, offering money to Australia to assist. Got it, get it, no worries. Politics getting brought into that world to also illuminate their character profile. But Pink loves Australia. We know that. So it's probably fair income. But something I saw last night, and it really, really scared me for the recipients that are doing it. And this is a big formal warning from In the Trenches with Cas to you to protect your six where the chili comes out, is if you do an unsanctioned charity event, whether it be on YouTube, whether it be collecting for on Facebook, whether it be on Twitch. I saw it on Twitch last night, an Australian channel. I think it was Rose something it was called. And they raised $304,000 when I was watching, or they'd been on for 36 hours nearly, for the victims. And what scared me is, do these people, one of two things is the reason it scares me. Do these people understand that that money, unless it's going to an outside link that has been set up by an independent agency by the government, do they understand they will pay tax on that $304,000, probably to the tune of more than $100,000? Now, if that is the case, have they even taken that into account? Is this going down to some person who's trying to elevate their Twitch using the fires as the brand to get themselves going, to create an enduring account? Is this going to come back and torch them, so to speak? Don't mind the pun. The other side is there a way, because no receipts get handed out, for people to be able to claim on tax when they actually hand a lot of money in, and people are handing in thousands of dollars? So what happens? Is it any different to someone if it doesn't all go to the fires? You know, is there transparency of how much they're keeping? Is there transparency on how much they're going to get hit by the tax man? Is there any difference between someone who raises money for a natural disaster and realizes, I've stuffed up, what am I going to do now? I've got to retain the funds. Is that any different going around to 10,000 stores and taking their charity buckets under your arm and going, I don't mean it, but I have to because I fucked up, and then taking them home with you? I'm a little bit worried about the people that are getting too attached to the causes, go through the nominated links to get that money there. And you know what? I don't think we should be given a cent. I think that is beautiful to see. I think it's up to the government, emergency funds, to step in, take care of it. But you can't throw money at the fire. You have to wait until the area is stable. Just like JC will tell you at an incident site, accident site. Just like Lauren will tell you emotionally when you're putting the blanket around someone's back. Like Stoddy will tell you when you're dealing with their mind. You have to get them into a position of floating logic before you can actually, or stable the pain, etc. You know, get that stability before you can actually then try to cure that. So sometimes you've got to wait until it's all over, like Yasi. You've got to wait till you see the damage, how many more ceilings are going to collapse before you start working on it, etc. Anyway, some of the other things we were looking at, and this is I think I'm on the money here. and it's a tough one. We saw with Soleimani when he just got killed by in Iraq on his way to the airport, so to speak. And when I was listening to it, and they were explaining that he was killed on the highway, and that his militia were responsible for the suicide attacks and for a lot of the bombings that had happened during the occupation of Iraq with US troops, I couldn't help but think of Sainty, one of my brothers, Justin Saint, who's left behind 2 lovely girls and wife. And I can't help but think he got killed on the same road as Soleimani. And also, it was probably Soleimani's people that were behind the actual murder of Justin and the police officer that was with him at the time. Both had children. So I'm wondering at the moment, has this finally brought some karma and some closing to Justin's wife? I tried to contact her today. She's not answering the text. So I want to have a talk with her and put this in maybe in a context with her, and hopefully that brings her and her daughter some peace. All right. Stoddy says, Parliament won't be fully open for another month to officially pass legislation of funds. JC, isn't Trump giving Iran some shit? I think we're up for another war. JC, if there is a conflict there, and being ex-RAF, you'd know this, it'd be an air war. There would be no reason to put boots on the ground, which means the casualties that would come from the US war machine would be maybe negligent, if none. We'd be looking at surgical bombing via high-altitude vehicles, planes, missiles, that would be hitting their strategic targets. So there's no reason to lose actual troops. And the power, what would we call it? The power ratio of the US versus Iran. Remember, Iran and Iraq fought against each other for more than a decade, okay, and was a stalemate. But then US defeated Iraq in 3 days. So if that gives you some context to how one-sided this would be, but they don't need to do a ground war. I believe what happened is a dream come true, but so sad for Iraq because by all accounts, the people are lovely. Same deal with Iran, lovely, but led by dickheads. What's happened is the US now has an exit ramp, an off-ramp from Iraq completely. Their intent was already to try and pull out of this location, but they didn't know how without looking like we're leaving our former allies, former war adversaries behind. So now they're getting told by Iraq, get out. No worries. By the way, we'll never be back. Understanding that the US now produces more oil than the rest of the world. So that's going to work out well for the US. Mr. Buckaroony. G'day, Dave. Mr. Bucko, he's a North Queensland gentleman who's also got his stream. He is a fantastic guy that does all sorts of things for charities, etc. We're just talking, Bucko, how dangerous it is for people like you, for me, for others, to actually put the US has already put boots on the ground only in Iraq, mate, and that's only to get their own people out, which is a service-protected evacuation. Yep, that's what that is. Right, they're there for local security so they can make the final phase of war complete, which is the withdrawal, and I believe it'll be a permanent one. Bucko, we were just saying the danger of doing charity runs that we paid the tax. An example of that is last year, I paid nearly $3,000 tax on Patreon. So when you see me out in the streets where people are donating $5 at a time, okay, it ended up costing me over $3,000. Okay, I took that. That's fine. But the people, when we're talking about figures like $304,000 last night, I just pray for them, Nutsu Cow, that they done the right thing and expected that this was going to be a very heartfelt, emotional moment and that people would give. And they've got an accountant that sorted that shit out from, otherwise it's going to hurt them for many years to come. Hey, Kaz, started the enlistment process as Robbo Prawn 1, and I love your name, by the way. Started the enlistment process, tossing up between infantry and armoured. You can't go wrong either way, mate. Probably, Cav. What's your opinion on armoured versus infantry? They share the battlefield. They share the front line, mate. One is walking, one is driving. One will never get away from the heat of the vehicle, will have the maintenance and never appear to feel like they've ever stopped. But at the same time, will have jaffles with melted cheese and salami that they don't have to carry on their back like we do. And when the bullets fly, do you want to die on fire or do you want to die from a bullet wound, which may be that quick? It all comes down to you, mate. Remember, we don't join to help, we join to hurt. Otherwise, you'd be joining as a medic, wouldn't you, Stoddy? Overflowing Stage 3 Pit, one of our favourite subscribers. G'day, mate. Kaz in lowercase. That's okay. Put his own name in there too. JC, I hope so, Lauren. JC, but Russia and China are backing Iran, but not for the long fight. Russia's not a superpower. And there's a saying as well, JC. There is a saying, that sometimes you have to choke a chicken, to teach the monkey a lesson. On top of that, JC, the doctor, a doctor has now come out that's refuting the Epstein case, and he's representing Epstein's brother. And now photos have now surfaced of Epstein's carcass, and none of it is gelling with what the storyline is. And the guards that were involved that were supposedly sleeping at the time refused to talk. And I believe that is because they don't want to get a hug of their own from her henchman. Day 7 without caffeine. How many were you on a day, JC, before you did that? You can't be a cop without coffee, mate. It's part of the job. Ricky, one hand. Napoleon. Lauren is shining. Well, you can be excused for being skeptical, JC. You've seen much more than me. Okay, think of going into submarines. What do you think? You can't escape the closets down there, mate. What if you were the only heterosexual guy in the entire submarine and they all decide that you're going to be the pinata with no reverse camera that night? I think it'd be a fantastic job, mate, but naturally someone with a little bit of claustrophobia, it's not my go. I think it'd be a great one, and you get a massive amount of money. I think you get seagoing allowance. You also get submariners allowance. And I believe on top of that, you have a role like snipers that no one is an expert at except the people that do it. So therefore, people tend not to give you advice. You get left alone because no one can be, an expert at something like that. World of Duro 789. Kaz, I've done my U session. What's the gap between U session assessment? How long is a piece of string? It's meant to be less than a month. The U session unlocks what roles that you can go for. The assessment looks for people that should be disqualified on means that you can't see visibly. Yeah. But it should be less than 4 weeks. But you are actually trying to join at the hardest possible time of the year because the ADF is on holidays. The Rage 259, enlisting on the 13th as a clerk. I failed my ISB. I saw your comment actually, and I thought I got back to it. A lot of comments on YouTube, when I type them in, it's like they don't even go on there. And I remember looking at yours because you were stoked that you're becoming a clerk, yeah? Impressed. And they said they could see me as an operations clerk or an ordnance clerk. 100% satisfied in my enlistment. I can improve. That's awesome. That's the sort of attitude they need in people. And believe me, one of the things that I need to talk about, Red Knight, you're going down. Red Knight's going down. Down, down, down. Red Knight's going down. My favourite movie. One of my favourite movies. What movie is that from? Who's the first one to write it down the bottom? What was I going to say? The military. We're talking about U session. Clark. Yeah, awesome. I'll get back to it. But it was important. Hello. G'day, buddy. With a name like hello, it's hard not to be happy when I see you jump up. Ares Kebabs. Because I did my U session on December, and do you have the option between special forces and direct recruitment or infantry. I'm thinking of doing infantry then commandos. I would say that's the best way to go, mate. Let your body heal in between, because you still have to do the 343 course for RA Inf anyway, mate. So good call. And when you see some of these guys that are actually going for direct entry commandos, they are absolute beasts. But they've got a hard road because they're competing against sergeants. Section commanders have been on operational tours. Australia is in peace at the moment, team, and we should be happy about that. We're in peace. Yep. US is pulling out of all major engagements. They have administrational forces doing mentoring on the ground to facilitate teaching to fish instead of, giving a fish. Mr. P gives me excellent advice on that with the Vietnam situation. Be careful you don't go over there and just throw money at someone and solve a problem, but then become a new problem. Well, that's what's happening over there. The US is pulling out of these locations and leaving a skeleton force in strategic locations. Australia, I believe, is more tied to the US. Therefore, you need to accept that. What would it take for Australia to actually put boots on the ground in another country that's not domestic? It'd take a lot. It would. I think that the Australian interest, now that oil is being produced by the US, and I think the grip on the oil and the fossil fuels that come from abroad, I think that grip is loosening off. Right? So I can't see the people that are in the military now, other than a protected evacuation, whether it be a national emergency, whether that be a United Nations force going to a location, peace monitoring force, etc. I can't see a kinetic requirement for us to go into any other country in the near future. That doesn't mean we won't prepare for it. It doesn't mean you train any less hard. If anything, you'll be a better version of you, because we learn bad habits on operation, because we leave away and we try to shortcut the system a lot. Amber, g'day, mate. That's a pretty name. That's awesome, Clayton. What job booked your PFA yet? It's time to train for a lot of people, isn't it? Okay, Fugly, due 7th of May, Lauren. That's the little one. SL imports from you, from my U session to my enlistment date, it took under 1 month. Yep. Not sure if that's a good thing. That's what it's meant to be, mate. It's meant to be about 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. And it depends on what role you're going to, whether there's room for that, etc. Clayton does his PFA on the 22nd of the 1st. You better be prepared, because you've had a lot of days off in between. Mr. Buccarini, hey, Kaz, on Saturday night, the 18th of January at 1800 hours, I'm auctioning off about $6,000 worth of four-wheel drive and camping gear for the bushfires. That's a big give of you there, Bucko. Who's supplying the things that you're giving? Everyone. Put that in your calendar. The 18th of January, which is about 2 weeks from now, not even, at 8:30, at 6:30. It doesn't hurt for you to go over now and subscribe to Mr. Buccarini. He's an intelligent guy. He understands, and he gives a lot, whether it be to the farmers, which in the Trenches with Cas also uses Bucko as our proxy. We give as well. It's a fantastic channel. If you're into camping, if you're into just dinky-die Aussies and like Australian speech and the truth, he's an excellent channel to go to. I'm touching wood at the moment, because what the hell happened on the microphone the other day? Let's try this out one more time. Lauren's probably thinking, don't do it, Kaz. Don't do it. I'm going to mention the word that made the entire stream just go and go off. I said the word. I don't know if I want to say it. I said the word Republican. Pardon me, and everything died. Lauren, you're right. Bucko is well worth tuning into, and it makes you smile. Him and Roz, Ken there as well. Great people, great family, a lot of life experience, and a bloody great mentor. Met him in person. We went down and we looked after a busker on Circular Quay. It was a fantastic day. He said it, and the stream lagged. Fugly. Jay, now let's all pretend that we can't hear Cas. I was waiting for that. I thought you might. We do have 57 people on at the moment, which is pretty good. Remember, I'm happy if we get 1,000 good subscribers. I'll know when we've got 1,000 good subscribers because when I put a week into a video, it'll get 1,000 views. But we're not at 1,000 subscribers yet. So what can I expect? We're doing pretty well. To have a channel of only 780 or 91 or 92, no, 802 we hit this afternoon. We've got 56 on, pretty happy. Billy Krask, hi Cas, threats coming out of Iran towards US following drone strikes mean exactly he's going to be off the planet. Look, if I could tell Iran, the perfect plan, and I'm not going to talk about it here, I would. It's part of asymmetric warfare, but I don't want to go into that. But you can't not hit Iran if you get the opportunity to, because at the end of the day, you're not hitting the people. We don't mind the people. It's the regime has been a terrorist facilitator for decades and decades. Yeah. Josh Harmer, hey Cas, just want to thank you so much for what you're doing, even after you got hacked. Shows good motivation. Well, thanks, Josh. I'll accept that. And mate, to tell you the truth, what sort of channel would have In the Trenches with Cas have been if as soon as the channel got wrecked, got scammed, got sold, and then uploaded videos the same day it occurred? I thought that was pretty rude. And Brian said he'd look right into investigating my channel and getting it back for me. But then after that, YouTube did nothing to get my channel back to me. Didn't even return correspondence, which I find disgusting. Really disgusting. It's one of the reasons why I'm not going to allow Super Chat back onto our stream once we're allowed to do it. I'm not going to do it. I don't want any kickbacks from our streams going back to YouTube itself. Katanis, Israel ain't no fond either. Ain't no fond. Fondue, cheese. Have my U session Monday the 20th. Daniel Wright, you'll be right for it. Guys and gals, if you get a chance, go and watch the one of the last videos we did. Because we actually asked for all those that are enlisting in January to put their names down and start communicating with each other there, so that when you go into Kapuka, you're surrounded by brothers and sisters that are literally going to be your career brothers and sisters. So go back there, put in comments, look for the comments below that other people that are joining, enlisting, have written, and please engage with them. It will make your experience going to Kapuka so much better. That's worth tasting. Just to jump back a little bit, JC and Buckaroony are probably two of the people that see this the most in Australia, I'd imagine. A bit of a call out, being a policeman, and I'm not going to go into what Mr. Buckaroony does. But it feels like our last generation or so, what we're doing is we're starting to embrace, and social justice warriors have only been out since 2014. They didn't exist before that, only 5 years old. What's happening is we're starting in Australia embracing truth less over emotion. And that's what children do. Children go to an emotional state where you need to calm them down before you tell them that it is 3 hours where we're going to go and see grandpa and grandma. That if they jump off this or they go off that slide, they're not going to hurt themselves. Mum and dad are here. We're seeing people howling at the moon. But the sad thing is they're being allowed to do it and even being encouraged to do it, whether it be schools protesting climate change, whether it be the project and their left-leaning attachment to US media with Channel 9, Channel 7, the ABC, etc. You can't see their hand that's so far up their butt from the US that they're slowly handing out propaganda and absolutely changing the way we think in the modern landscape. That is so dangerous. There is so many topics that you cannot talk about at a party, around the table? Do people even sit around the table? Is this another way of ripping down the family unit, which means that families break down, mum and dad both have to work, mum and dad then both have to pay tax? I don't know. I'm not an expert on it, but I'm sure the men on the street and the ladies on the street, our 5-0, that's Hawaiian police, the thin blue line, are getting to see what looks like great people once you've got them isolated, but as a group, they're absolutely off the reservation and look so shocked and surprised when they actually get held accountable for the things they've done, for the things they've said. You can have someone at the lights now, I nearly got in drama, nearly got in a fight over this, telling a pregnant woman who was, and I'm talking full pregnant, just smoking away there, like, what are you doing? And then I said to her friends, I'm not even angry at you. I'm angry at your friends. How come they're not good friends? They're not even advising you about the dangers of what you're doing to your little one. Give it every opportunity. You know, there's just crazy shit. Well done, Dev. The RAF is a great career and a safe one. Yeah, Lauren, I'm not missing anything then. I'm already... World, you're not forgotten, mate. Timmy Doust, we made it to a stream. Good to have you here, Timmy. We're not going to be on for a hell of a long time tonight because, to tell you the truth, I lost a lot of the emotion, so to speak, with tonight's stream because we'd spent so much time preparing it for you tonight. And to have the wool sort of ripped out from under our feet, the rob wool, so to speak, it really was a dampener, you know. I'm on here because you can't jump on there and go, that's it, I'm done, I'm off. But I feel like my best foot forward, was wasted. The stream test, yeah, it's out the way. Where are we? Yep, we're sitting on 802 subscribers now from 12,500. Where that is a tough one. We were a real authority on those that were joining the military and had up to 20% of platoons that were turning up to Kapuka actually coming from our channel ready to go. And I don't mean just emotionally. I mean physically ready to go. We had bugger all back squads from those that had come from our community in the Trenches with Cas. This is a place where you can come to and you can speak the truth. This is a place you can come to and have a robust conversation with someone, which is what being an adult is all about, and walk away 1% smarter. That's what it's meant to be about. Fitness. The time to get fit, army fit, is really upon you guys. The time for resting is almost done. If you're going in January, February, March, you need to treat this, you need to disengage from your social circles, and you need to put things at hand and get army fit. Kapuka might feel like it's a breeze compared to what you expected, but straight after Kapuka is waiting Singleton, and that's no joke. Okay. Right. So time to start working there, team. Is everything okay, Cas and friends? Yeah, it's good, Timmy. We've just had a catastrophic day trying to get this up, and even the Streamlabs, we've got a good Ryan over today to fix our system. But then when we went to go live tonight, it was rejecting the comments. So I was unable to know, could you hear? Or what's going on, Hey, Cas, donated 500 the other day to the OSPCA bushfire appeal. Poor bloody animals. They just caught a guy. Down. We've got a couple of more issues to talk about here. They just caught a guy down in Victoria that they believe is responsible for 12 fires. Now, I'm not in Newcastle at the moment, ET. I'm back down in Sydney, Penrith. You could hear the shooting if I didn't have double glazed windows. It started 12 fires. And exactly what you just said then. People are talking about, okay, maybe no one died in his 12 fires, but what about the million or more animals that would have died? The infrastructure, the intent to cause harm and catastrophe. To me, that should be death penalty. No doubt there's an element of mental health involved in that. But if you're really going to jack off to fire, you can still stand around at 10. Or is it someone who is so disenfranchised from society, they're not necessarily after the carnage, they're after the drama in their mind that they're watching that saying, I caused this. What must it feel for them, but when they start bringing out the carcasses of koalas, of dead roos? What about farmers that lose livestock? What about firemen who die? Houses and towns that are 200 years old that get burnt to the ground. Bermagui, imagine if they got their hands on that guy. Another issue, one of my friends who works in the biggest shopping centre in the Southern Hemisphere, Chatston, he works there, and a young lass, because her mum was there, that was on the autistic spectrum, went and just took a woman's child and tried to run off with it. Don't know what she was going to do with it. Probably just play with it like a doll. Probably thought it was cute. She spoke to her, whatever. The mother wasn't watching, and she took the daughter and done the bolt. And I asked me, mate, do they have an SOP for that? Is there a lockdown process for the entire shopping centre where all the doors get shut, the security guards move to there, like blood flowing to the major organs? What do? They'd better have some sort of way to look after that. And the poor bastard also had a code brown where the ladies' toilets backed up and threw gallons and gallons and gallons and gallons and gallons of excrement all over the floor. And it took a truck to come in and drain it, $15,000 for the day, and it could have definitely been planned for. Hey, Harold, there you go, mate. That's a good name. Sounds like you're from the UK, my man. Hey, Kaz, I just hit subscribe. I was subscribed to your channel before the wheels fell off. I haven't posted on here before, but I like what you do and stand for. Thanks, Harold. And that's a great traditional name. Is there anything we can cover or you would like me to talk about right now? And thank you very much for subscribing. For those that want to take the leadership of Harold, this is your Australian channel team. This is the channel where you guide in comments what we talk about. You do. I can talk about military, but I can also talk about the beach. I can talk about vans, and I will be talking about vans. I can talk about potentially going to just chatting on Twitch. I can talk about why I do this and what it feels like every day, waking up with my own issues and being a home dad, and how that is a world similar to Mars. I'm telling you, it is a landscape I was not prepared for, I tell you now. Can we get some thumbs up if there's any single dads out there? It's a tough life. London Valley had a bug every year. He talked about country practice. Showing your age there, mate. Lauren, I can't remember the name of the neighbouring town to London Valley. I didn't even realise it was real. I did cry when, what's her name, died, but Molly. Kanga, there he is. Hi, Kaz. God to see you. Good to see you. JC, I wish I was back at work. Yeah, man. We pray for that time off, but then when you get it, it's crazy, isn't it, mate? I would volunteer for deployment to the fire area, lock up some of these looters. Yeah, dude, it is tough. 42 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 8.2 on the beep test. Okay, you've still got a long way to go, mate. Try to get those push-ups up past 60 and take into account they may not be the best form. 100 sit-ups is an expectation, 8.2. So you've got what it takes to get through Kapuka, mate. But depending on what corps you go to next, AK-42, not 47, then, mate, you still need to work on that. It's about being the best version of you, right? I trained my entire career, right? And what it did, it protected me, from what should have been some of the injuries I would have had when I got out. Josh Armour, Kaz, I'm heading off. I hope you had a good night. I'm about to go too, Josh. I just wanted to let you know that it's important we have a couple of streams coming up. Otherwise, the channel is just not going to get the amount of videos and productions you need out there. I'm not going to spam you. I won't make it every day or anything like that. But your comments are what activate me. Because how is military support after service? There is no military support after service, mate. There's none. The day that you get out of the military and you go out of that gate, you can't even turn around and go back in the next day at all. Even after 24 years with a retired card, nope, can't go back on. not unless someone signs me back on. Even the canteen lady gets on easier than I do. You can't have kooks that have been out of the military, got kicked out for all numerous reasons, feeling disenfranchised from society, and then just roaming around the Defence Force bases. It will annoy the people, it'll get in the way, it'll become a security nightmare, and it won't allow people to get on with their lives. If you stay in the military for just 4 years and get out, there's a great chance that you won't have completed, what would you call it, your emotional requirement. So what will happen is, for the rest of your life, you'll have regrets that you got out the 4 years. What could have I been? Would have I made it to sergeant? Would have I made it to warrant officer? Would I have been whatever? Would have I been on this trip? I missed on that trip. What are my mates doing now? Chasing the dragon, trying to find that friendship in civilian land by now going to sports, by going to clubs, by going to outlaw bikie clubs, by you name it. You already have all of that by being in the military. It is the best thing in the world, and we do not know it while we're doing it. To turn up to work and have 30 guys all turn up early every day, no excuses, regardless if they're sick or not, because you're not allowed to stay at home. There's no such thing as a sickie. You got to come to work, and then you go to the hospital, army hospital, sit in line, and then get told, okay, you're too sick, you should be at home. Yeah, thanks. 10 o'clock now. Harold, I've liked your segments when you've spoken about military history. Otherwise, I like your political insights. For your information, I'm Aussie. I name my profile name after the last Anglo-Saxon king of England. I thought it might have had some sort of link there, Harold. But, yeah. For anyone that's a little bit older, Amber, last minute check, any more February 17th enlistments. We'll be doing a video for you guys too, Amber. So that'll be coming real soon, okay, my friend? And I look forward to hearing how you're going. One of the things that we get told is never speak about politics, religion, or politics, religion. What else? It just doesn't make sense we don't have those conversations. If you don't have conversations about politics, if you don't have conversations about religion, then you are literally having the tail wagging the dog. They need to be held accountable. And how do they get held accountable? They get held accountable by people having an understanding of what's happening in their climate, in their country. So you can speak about issues. So if you don't look as embarrassing as the Greens talking and being disrespectful to Scott Morrison the other day, no solutions, not making sandwiches for the farmers, not pouring drinks, not doing whatever they can, just sitting in air conditioning, howling at the moon. If a politician asks you, well, what can I do better, mate? Tell me. I'm here for solutions. Help me to help you, Jerry Maguire. Help me. And then you don't have anything. He's going to go, so you're just that guy. You're just the whinger. That's what you are. Australia's not meant to be whingers, team. We're the battlers. We do more with less. We stop and we help people if they don't look like Ivan Milat when their tyres coming off their car. We go to the back of the line and let the girls get their fill before we go, and then they don't even realise we're doing it. We stand up on trains to give people that look more frail than ourselves a seat. I don't see parents anymore giving their kid a on the back of their head, get up, give someone a seat. Kids can stand. Yeah. Hey, Thomas Townsend, there you go, mate. Sorry I don't get to everyone's comment. Naturally, if you write a comment and then the moderators that are in blue, our famous guys and gals in blue, if they don't get to your question or I don't get to your question, if you copy it, then you can just paste it again down the bottom and keep doing that till you get an answer. Yep. Sorry, was a typo. Nah, John, don't worry about it, mate. We'll donate beer over here in Perth to our fireys. Yeah, yep. And we would. Our local member, I do not know why they haven't gone and seen the Penrith Panthers Leagues Club, the biggest club in Australia nearly, and said, let's get 20,000 people here into your club on a day you would least expect it and just get that money flowing into your club, but also standing in the car park and allow those guys that have the fire vehicles to drive through this promenade of people that are excited to see them and You're our hero, or whatever it is. Tick off a double boxes at the same time. Mr. Buckaroony, for my mate, the Yanks are passionate, no doubt about it. I think the US gets pissed off because they do all the dying for other countries, and no matter what they do, they're the toughest guy in the pub. They're not allowed to hit anyone, but other people will sit there just ferreting them, telling them they're wrong no matter what they do. Oh, guns are wrong. No, pulling the trigger while someone else in front of you. If guns were such a problem, how come the people in the military aren't shooting each other? It's cultures, it's gangs, and it's low IQ. That's what it is. Lauren, you are the wild thing. I don't know what she said. And it wasn't an easy 14 years. Was it, JP? JP's on here too. Hey, man, how you going? For those that don't know, as soon as I see that JP is anywhere, all I want to do is talk about fish farming. I'm like a fanatic for fish farming and aquaculture, oyster farming, etc. I absolutely love it. One of the things I'm looking at doing, because I'm looking at buying the Discoverer VW T6 camper van. And one of the things I'm looking at doing is doing interviews on the road with scallywags that I pick up in places like Sydney that want to go to Byron Bay. Nah, I'll shortchange them. I'll drop them off at Port Macquarie, and then I'll pick up a new group and take them to Coffs, and then a new group and take them to bloody Byron Bay. But have the rig set up so that these people have interviews that we can listen to normal people that are traveling. Just that positivity. All these different characters that look like they haven't washed their hairs in decades. And we'll do that. That'll put some pretty girls there for the majority of the blokes that are on here too. And some blokes that are probably not sweaters yet, there for the ladies to check out. Mussel farming. I can't get behind that, Leroy. Mussels, it's like eating catfish, I guess. It just does nothing. Do they have any taste whatsoever? The price is right, says Sam. Given that the reserves have been called out, do you think this might see a rise in people signing up to become unreserved? No, I don't think so. They're not fighting the fires, mate. They're out there helping with the logistics of it. You can't send people out to fight fires that haven't been trained as firefighters. They're not wearing the clothes of the firefighter. Engineers have got hold of the firefighting in the Australian Army. Doesn't mean that we haven't done it. We do it when we're the ones that start the fires. But you can't stuff around with something as crazy as fire, and oversaturate. You can have too many people on the ground. Jonathan, where do you go? Where do you go? Jonathan, have we had you here before, mate? Feel free to subscribe if you haven't been on here before, mate. Had my U session today. I don't understand how recruiting is even open today. Normally 16th and 17th is when the military comes back online. That's crazy. Hey, guys, what's your thoughts on Soleimani being taken out? It's a great thing. And what's next to the Australian Army in regards to that incident? Nothing. Sit back, watch, and wait, mate. That's what that'll be. And as I said, I've got a friend that I believe that was murdered with a police officer in Iraq as a contractor, murdered because he wasn't a military. He wasn't there for military engagement, for kinetic energy. He was there for security. And he was murdered along with another Australian retired policeman. Both of them had kids, Justin Saint and his mate. And I believe they were killed on the same road that Soleimani was killed on, and probably by Soleimani's militia. So this, for me, is a moment of closure, a moment of, oh, Justin, you got him back. Nuts cow. Jonathan, had my U session today and smashed it. Look at an engineering officer. Well done, mate. You should speak to Dave D. But I hear I have to join as a general service officer and essentially hope to get engineering officer. Jonathan, that's fine. You will get the opportunity to pursue that once you get to ADFA. There is a lot of benefits of you be going in as a GSO, general service officer, because that means when you are at RMC, then you can speak to your instructors, which most of them at the start are senior NCOs, not officers. And from there, you can say, this is the way I want to lean. And you can earn that position while you're at RMC. So Fingers crossed, eyes crossed like Soleimani, and, all the best to you, mate. JC, speaking to one this month, Stoddy, I didn't know about it until recently. I've PVCs and got to Afghanistan, so I need to get it sorted. Yeah. You need to get on. It's a tough one. As you know, in the police force, fire brigade, paramedics, army, once you actually come forward and say, they go, oh, if you've got a problem, come forward and let us know. But once you do, your career goes so much better in the glass. L49. That's what I mean. Not many have enough national pride to care about things like the flag. But, I'm starting to question not the flag. JC, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? If I ask you, and feel free if you've got and Will Macker, how you going, mate? If you've got a background from the UK, Robbo Prawn 1, okay, what has UK ever done for us? Ever. They've killed 102,000 of our forces, being in charge of us in locations. They don't come and share the battlefield or the positions we go to when we get sent to go in as an individual force like Rwanda, like Somalia. They don't come and help us out. They didn't come to Cambodia. They didn't come to East Timor, right? But they take our forces when they're in the shit. We're under their flag. What do they do for us? I've been a monarchist my entire life. I have been saluting people for more than half my life because they had the Queen's Commission. And I understand that we salute people as a sign of respect of the corporate arm. But I'm just wondering, our connection to the UK, is it gone? Is it just red, white, and blue? Well, so is USA. We don't follow the trends of the UK. They follow ours because of home and away, etc. We like their murder mysteries. I love the UK, but I think it's a fair enough question. What have they ever done for us? They've never protected us. US has, and we've protected the US as well, and the UK. I still love the UK, but I don't think we can afford to change the republic, because people would absolutely make a dog's breakfast of what it would look like. Imagine what our flag would end up looking like. Left-leaning, social, frickin' flag, and probably even have climate change written on it. Lauren, the next time I ask a girl who I find attractive if she wants to come and share a skateboard with me, that's some pretty close contact there. If she says no, I'm going to blame her, and I'm going to blame the climate. That's going to be the problem. I don't feel old. I love being my age. I love my age too. I love Lauren's age. Catonius, they gave us our institutional and cultural foundation. UK is our deadbeat dad, but he's still our dad. What a fantastic way of putting it. Catonius, I've got to do a bit of a call out, and I'm not sure if it's just because I've met you, mate, but you're one of my favourite subscribers, and I don't like to have favourites. To have met you in real life, to have seen Catonius at the back, the very back of a he's in rehab at the moment, Jordan Peterson seminar, and to go and see you, and there you were with a smile like an old lady's indoor cat on your face. You were just happy to be there. It said so much about your personality as a human being. For all of those that are here, Catonius is a good guy. I'm really glad I met you, mate, and I'm looking forward to hopefully having a phone call with you soon. Brenton Druitt, no, because, mate, if the vegans took over the government, imagine that. Well, the vegans won't even eat the artificial meat at Hungry Jack's. That's all right, Catonius. I meant to say Timmy Doust. What are your thoughts on becoming an officer, Kaz? On mine? None. I like to support the ship, but you know what? I love nothing better than supporting an officer that is there that still feels proud. Yeah. There's a major called Jake Kleiman who's now serving in one of the battalions. Fantastic guy. And I used to love just walking over Hill and Dale with him with a pink pad in my hand, an assessment pad, while we swap notes back and forth, talking about the assessment of the 30 or 40 guys that were in front of us, officers and senior NCOs, sharing the platoon positions on activities where we swapped notes from an NCO's point of view to his officer's point of view and kept the ship going right. And he absolutely gave me the ability to be able to have robust conversations with him, a decorated infantry officer, and I was able to have those robust conversations with him because he knew how much I cared about supporting what he was doing, and that we held the people to account so that the people's trust was not betrayed when their son went out and was led by one of the recipients that we'd signed off on. Yep. Yeah. So if someone has real leadership and they have drive and they have energy and they have fitness and they have vision, and you could be the next Rommel, because remember, you wouldn't have heard who Rommel was. You wouldn't have heard who Genghis Khan was. You wouldn't have heard who Chauvel was. You wouldn't have heard who who's another great one. Oh shit! There's many. Caesar. There's Hannibal. There's thousands of great leaders, but opportunity is what gave them a chance to shine. With that, team, we're going to get out of here. I'm going to give you the 2-minute warning. We're going to roll. KK, yum. I had a mad potato bake. Pretty good. Heavy on the carbs for this time of night. We supported a streamer today too, a fella called Ryan that came and helped us. So we're pushing him into his Twitch account to help him get a game off the ground called Star Citizen. So hopefully, if people get time and they watch Twitch at all, he'll go and be a follower of his when he jumps on. It'll be interesting. Fugly, and no more super chat so we can force him to stay. That's right, Fugly. Yeah. I don't want to give any more money to YouTube. I don't want you to give any more money to YouTube. Harrison Bennett, hey Kaz, what's your schedule update going to be moving forward during the week? Well, here's an interesting one, Harrison. How about what we won't do is streams during the weekends, because I want you to have the weekends. I realised that wasn't fair what we were doing, unless it's a special occasion. You really, really want it. You need it. Ball. Get in the hole. If you need that, then I'll do it for you. All right, but otherwise, what we might look at is Keith Brennan, one of my brothers. Going, I had to fade away and give the kids their rum ration so they'd sleep. I'll stay on here for another 5 minutes because Keith's here. Keith is one of my good friends, one of my inner circle that we don't get to speak to often enough. Yeah. Great to have you there, mate. Good looking chap too. Used to be really fit. Are you still? Fugly says, always need you. Daniel, g'day, buddy. How you? Daniel, my brother. Josh. Hey, Kaz, I got my letter of offer for the 9th of June for infantry. I'm a prison officer. Awesome. At the moment, and every ex-infantry guy I speak to advised me not to go infantry because it's not a career. Josh, it absolutely is a career. It absolutely is, but the timing has to be right. How old are you, mate? And I appreciate what you do in the prison system, mate. I really do. I've got a lot of friends in Townsville in the prison system, and I know these guys you're the front line as well. So I appreciate what you do. And the brotherhood, the real brotherhood that's required in the police force and also the prison. So well done, mate. Depending on your age, but, mate, I would say go to Cav over infantry. The reason why I say that is there is harder work as far as maintaining the vehicle, but with your maturity level having to come for the prisons, etc., that you're going to come down to the middle management and you're going to be in Cav, which is smaller groups, smaller teams, personality driven, rather than the what would you call it, the chaos pool that is in an infantry section, which has a real bell curve of age, of ability, of maturity. It's a young man's gig. If you get in early, you can do it forever, or until you're injured. But it is hard, Yakka. It's evolving so quick. The equipment there is amazing. Almost everything is mobility now, either motorized or mechanized, which makes it a great time for older dudes with rickety knees to get in. But it doesn't mean the hard work is not there. And you need to share a space with people that may be significantly younger than you, may have less to offer you as far as articulate conversation or that brotherhood at a level where you wish to do a little bit smarter, stand night hill while a young buck runs down it. So I'd say Cav to you, mate, might be a lot more your flavour. Billy, great to see you're looking better, Kaz. Is that because I shaved? Keep pushing forward. Now's probably a good time to let you know. Kane, Lauren, I have my U session in 5 months. Yes, he does. I tell you, my back end, if you know what an 84 is like a Venturi at the moment. It's not uncommon for me to do 10 or more TURDS in a day. So that's why I look like a half-sucked mango. I had a shave for Mr. P. I don't feel sick or anything. I'm just really, really fatigued at the moment, which means that I'm always on that anger spike. And that's not to mention the situations I've already got in my life. But I can't complain. My house is not on fire. We got some rain today in Western Sydney, and they're expecting thunderstorms tomorrow. So Kaz is not healthy at the moment, but there's no such thing as cancer till you go to the doctor, is there? Clearly your ovulation ring. Yeah, the ovulating ring. That's right, the 6-3. Yeah, it's got the tang to it, that taste of spice in the air. But I won't leave you hanging. This is part of who I am, as my circle of military guys through either whatever they're doing now gets smaller and smaller. I feel like this is my replacement, my place to be, my public speaking, if you will. And for all those that are storytellers, for those that like to have the soapbox, for those that feel like there's so many deaf ears in conversations in your near ground, your family, your friends, understanding that we don't get to the real conversations when we go to a barbecue until we narrow the pack down and it gets to 2 o'clock in the morning, and all of a sudden you can talk about normal shit, not why does Manly keep losing. But this feels like a public speaking arena. I get a chance to come here, and after a 24 to 36 hour period, when you're looking at potentially 546 views, and that's on a low one, then that's amazing. You're talking about a goddamn auditorium there. And if you can make some sort of little headway as opposed to the bombardment of 7, 9, 10 Project Embedded, ABC, or our US counterparts, then this is a great thing. Mr. Buckarini says, how is YouTube supporting the foreign mechanism, Kaz? It's not, mate. I'm firing Splintex. Lawrence Ron, Kaz, you're so great. We all respect and love you so much. Thank you for sharing your talent and wisdom. That Lauren, for those that don't know, that could be self-spouting, because I go to Lauren, I go to Dave D, I go to Paul L, I go to Grumpy and Stoddy, and I talk to them, and they find out, I find out, oh, what do you think of this? Let's float that. What's your conversation on that? And often I'm articulating or regurgitating what they say. When I have conversations with you wonderful people, more often than not, this is like I've got a cast net and thrown it over the sensible people. I'm sure every one of you has people that you see on a daily basis that you are just holding your nose like it's fallen off, shaking your head going, oh my God, people cannot see the truth. It is so easy to see what's in front of us then. You just got to open your eyes. Thomas Townsend, Kaz, thanks for the chats for last couple of months. Clearing my head from doubts. March couldn't come any quicker. It's a terrible time, isn't it, TT? That countdown can really suck. It's called separation anxiety, where you sort of want to put your gear on and go out hunting the mammoth straight away. Keith, guess what came out today, my man? The 1DX Mark III. It's not for sale yet, but the 1DX Mark III, Canon's premier camera, the one that I want, is being released. Peter McKinnon did a video on it today. Josh Shaddock, thanks, Cas, for everything. You're a legend, and I hope your health improves quickly. Am I able to contact you in regards to my enlistment day? Josh, what I'm going to do is I've got to hold back a little bit on handing my phone number out. And the reason why I say that is, and I spoke to Lauren about this, and I think I might have spoken to Dave Dean. I definitely spoke to Paulie L about it, was I was getting to the stage where I was getting up to 20 or 30 calls a day. There was people ringing while I was talking to someone, etc. It's tough. We had videos, people actually giving me text messages saying, can you give me advice on a U session? The day after, I'd put a video up about the U session. You're going, oh, my God. I can't force people to breathe. I want to put my phone number right down right now for you to ring me tomorrow, but geez, it's tough. I don't want to put the shackles back on my wrist and ankles. I don't know if there is a healthy way other than just put the number out there. I don't know. JC, is an AC now is your chief super? I spilled a beer on him at Goondiwindi Station during an after-work season. Only an Australian could say Goondiwindi, couldn't they? They do had some thoughts on the calls, Cas. I'll send them later. Yeah, cheers, Dave. Get to me there, and I'll give you a rundown on the mentoring sessions. And what it might mean is I might still get the number out because, by the way, I also get calls, 11 and 12 o'clock at night. Given intrusive thoughts and shit like that, and then have to get up early to make sure I don't look like a deadbeat dad, it does make it tough. But if I can get periods where there's block periods for the conversations, I'd probably be more willing to do that. Or I'd say recommend people go to Patreon, and from there, I'm more than happy to put my number out there because it's a contained amount of people. Yeah. Neville Bartle should be sweet then, mate, and you'll have to disclose it. Should be sweet then, mate, and you don't have to disclose it. I'm not sure about that. Hand out Uncle Angus's number. Imagine that. That would be funny. That'd be sweet justice. Team, when in doubt, go and look at Chris Watt's interrogation videos. They're fantastic. True Crime's ace. If you're not doing that, then look at Mr. Buckaroony. I only give your number out to Nymphomaniacs, Cas. I did, but no calls. I might have put a wrong number out. I don't know. And if you get on Twitch, then go and check out the RY Gaming Guy. Great. Made him off on work cover since she's been and got injured on the job. Yep. Scumbag trying to escape. From what I see, she is doing good things. I've got to talk to you soon, JC. I'm looking forward to the street logic that you'd like to give that I can amplify on here. Harry's been got my U session next week. Harry will be talking before next week. So awesome. Watch the video. Look forward to being in your corner. That's me, and you know how it goes. See you later. Look at the back catalogue. Look forward to engaging with you guys more and more and more in the future. Hit the like button if you can. It's like the passport to pleasure. And if you have a comment that you really need me to get to, then what I want you to do is wait for a couple of hours or tomorrow and then put it in the comments below, because these comments are too hard to go through. There's thousands of them. But if you put a comment to the video beneath it, all right, then it gives me ample chance to go down there, check it out, and get back to you, okay? So thank you very much for the respect tonight. More than happy to help you in any way I can. We are back. What does back look like? Well, we'll see. But, yeah, you've really made me feel good today. Right? And sorry, there was the hiccup at the start. All right. So embrace the truth. Understand when you're being over emotional. Right? Listen to the conversations that happen around you. And if you can, input without detriment to who you are while still building someone up, because that's what mentoring and life coaching actually is. You shouldn't have to book in to see a life coach. They should be surrounding you. They're called the older generation. Respect them. Sit down. Engage with them. Put your phone away. That'll show them that you're jet dinky die, ready to chat. Get on your soapbox. I don't mind that either. And have a conversation with them. They're more lonely than you are. So have a chat. Pull them up, say good day, offer them a coffee. If you've got a kid and you walk past an old person sitting down, get your kid to say hello to them. Yep. It brightens their day. Every one of these people have an amazing life behind them. They come from the best generations. That's Cas in the trenches saying, Diddy meow. Now, see you later. Mucho respecto, and thank you for being here. See you later, team. That's me in the corner. That's me in the spot.